Hi everybody, this is Crafter here with another video. Today's video I thought I'd share with you how I actually store my Lavinia stamps, because obviously they're all like individual stamps now. They're like little packs with tiny little stamps in, so they need to be in some form of order so you know what you've got. So I thought, well, before I start doing this on my own, like which I normally would do, I'll share with you what I actually do and how I actually store them. Now I actually bought these boxes from Crafter's Companion, and I'm always buying them, and these are the Totally Tiffany boxes, and I originally was buying them with like the extra sleeves and stuff in, but it got to the point where I had that many Lavinia stamps I couldn't fit as many in, because these was taking up extra space, and to the expense of keeping it that way. And it makes no odds, because what I actually do is I have a box for each individual thing. So on here, like, we've got, these will all be Lavinia fairies, and then in here is the Lavinia pound stamps, which I do tend to use those because I can fit 2 of those in each one. So that makes it a lot easier for the pound stamps to actually use those. And I've still got plenty of room in there, and as far as I'm aware, I've got near as damn it every pound stamp they do up to now. And then on here, what have we got here? We've got Lavinia plants. So this is a slightly larger box, and you can see it's absolutely rammed. And then we have animals, Lavinia animals, and again this is rammed, so I feel like I'm going to have to get a new box for those. And I have several other boxes as well, because there's more categories. Like I have one for trees and stuff like that, and then I have a miscellaneous one, and then there's one for text and stuff like that. But for this particular collection, even though like there is text in this collection, I feel like I'm going to keep the text within all of this, the same as the backgrounds. I mean, I've never really bought any background stamps from Lavinia, so I don't know if these are the first ones they've ever done or if they're not. But basically, all this collection is going to go in one box, and I've got a box here that's completely empty, and all I need to do is write on here the steampunk collection, which I shall do now. And that just bobs right back inside there, and then depending which way I store it, I can actually have labelled here. I never use 2 labels because I can just transfer it over, and then if one, they get tired over time, and it just saves me making more. So the first thing I actually do, like, I do never open my stamps from the bottom here, because the stickiness will go eventually. And so the best thing I find is if you just take some scissors, or you can just tear it if you like along that edge, and then all you've got to do, you've got your pocket here, and then you can just pull your stamp out very easily, and it's still a nice secure pocket. And I've just found this really works for me. I haven't found that they've split yet, but I'm sure over time they probably will do. And then I just pop them in the box. Now you'll find, so let's see if we can get a larger one. Like this large stamp, this won't fit in this box with it being closed. So what I do then is I still do the same thing. I just take that off there and open it up. Then I take the whole thing out of the packaging, even the card. I put the card in upside down, and then I just take my paper trimmer, or my guillotine I should say, and then I just trim off a little bit at a time. In fact, I always tend to try and go backwards so that we can see I'm not taking the label or the number, because if I do, I need to write it on the actual cardstock, because sometimes these labels are just placed down a little bit too close and I end up taking the number off. And before popping everything back in, I just check that, and I can see it is just, look, that stamps, that is just going to fit perfectly. So and then, because I've got a bit of OCD about it, I turn it back around so the Lavinia is at the top of the pocket, and then the stamps can then go back inside, and it's as if you haven't really touched it, and you wouldn't really notice like the information at the back. You've still got the information on the sticker, but like I say, if the sticker is in a position when I haven't got a really tall one right now, but if I did, I have had tall ones and I've ended up having to take off quite a bit chunk off it, and it's ended up removing the label, so I've ended up writing it on the card like I said previously, and then they just fit in there. So I'll just do another one for you so you can see, 'cause this is another large one. I think this one won't go in. It will have to go in that way, it won't go in this way because it's just the way it is. Again, we're just going to remove those, pop it upside down so the Lavinia sign is still there. And see, this is quite close. Now I've got to work out how much I need. So again, it is only a smidgen, but it will take some of that label. If that label had been moved up further, it may have taken some of that important information away. Again, we'll just pop that underneath and we'll just have a quick gander. See if that works. Will it go in? Let's just take that one out because it's just getting in my way. Yeah, that one goes in and it will close perfectly fine. So we'll take that back out. And we only have to do this on the stamps that don't fit the box. I mean, you can always buy the larger boxes if you like, but I just think these fit. I think you can fit quite a few. Was it about 12, maybe 14 of these in a Kallax unit, if you store them like upside down, and not upside down, at the sideways, and you can double them up, and then you can double them up that way. So it does fit a fair bit in the Kallax unit. So, and if I remember, I'll do a video on my phone and pop that in on the video as well. So that's how they go. I really do feel like by just chopping off this top pieces here, it makes a huge difference, and that you're keeping the cellophane that little bit longer. Like I said, I've not actually come across where one is split as yet, but I'm sure over time it will, because I've only been collecting Lavinia for about 5-6 months, something like that. I hope you've liked this video, and I'd love to hear how you store your Lavinia stamps. Do you have them separate from all your other stamps? I mean, I must admit, I tend to store majority, if I've got a lot of a certain brand, I will store them this way again, like so my All and Create, my Visible Image, they all are stored in this way, and then they've got miscellaneous ones that are stored this way. Inkalicious, that's another one as well. So yeah, I'd love to hear how you do your storage. I mean, I'm limited on my space. I'd love to have them out and display, but unfortunately that's just not viable for me. And I'm waffling as per usual, so I'm going to say very thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it useful to yourselves, and I'd love it if you would please comment and subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye!